process, we met with many of our neighbors from White Center, Highland Park, the unincorporated areas of King County, Toppat, many of our neighbors who told us they were interested in working with us and interested in green jobs, paid internships for youth, and we support that as we look forward to what's going to be the next step for this beautiful land. Thank you all for working so hard.
Thank you very much.
I'd also like to leave you with a story shared by Mr. Workman, who is a descendant of Chief Seattle. When we were visiting the Myers parcels, he talked about the fact that that was actually the place where many of the people in the Duwamish tribe in times past were buried in some of the trees, because that was their system of burial. And so I believe it to be a sacred place. You deserve thanks for honoring that. Thank you.
I appreciate that history, but I want to give you the backstory. Council member, I didn't realize you were here. Thank you so much for your leadership on so many issues. I want to tell you how this decision happened. So as you know, last year we declared a state of emergency and we decided we needed one-time funds. And then we would allow the budget, we'd spend money we actually didn't have. And we identified that there was some land near the firefighters use for various practice and the like. And we would sell that land to pay for those homeless services. So that's how we got into this fix in the first place. So I'm happy that we were able to sort it out, but I still have a lot of money to find since we're not going to sell that land. So thank you. Since we're not going to sell that land. Since we're not going to sell that land.
And the question comes is, in the run-up to the vote for the Parks District, there was a huge amount of work done by a Citizens Advisory Committee that looked at what the parks had, what the parks need, what the users wanted. The amount of outreach was incredible. So here we are with a big new acquisition potentially. And where does that come from? An increase in the parks tax, the district tax, or general fund?
So I have to be honest, I don't know the answer to the question, but often what happens, for instance, I would have to understand what are the legal restraints around this land. For instance, sometimes when we sell land that belongs to a utility, that money has to be used under the law only for a utility. I actually don't know on this one, and I'm surprised I don't, because we spent a few hours on this last 2 weeks. But we'll clarify that for you. And we are working in the partnership for the first year in the Parks District, and that's money that ramps up over time. And we are working with you on the issue that's been involved in this. But the particular answer, I actually don't know the answer to.
The Myers parcel is among the larger patches of wild or unbuilt land that I explored years ago when I was exploring all the wilder patches of Seattle. And the Myers parcel was among the few places in Seattle where you could still hear singing chorus frogs and singing crickets and find garter snakes. I just heard this evening that the city is not going to sell the Myers parcel for a warehouse. For this, I will thank you. My question to you is, have you ever heard the crickets and chorus frogs sing there?
I don't believe I have.
I invite you to come down and hear them sing.
How early? How early do I have to get up?
It doesn't have to be early. We can do it just as at dusk.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Stu. And last but not least.
It is an exceptional tree is because the developer bought the property and he's asked the city if this lot qualifies for a historic lot exemption. The city has given a preliminary opinion that it is qualified, yet it doesn't. The decision is not supported by the code, the facts, or case law. So I guess I'm here tonight to ask you if you could help us look into this matter, because our attorneys have sent a letter to the city. We think it's pretty compelling, and we're quickly running out of time before the month will be. And let me finish with one other point. If the city rules in favor of the developer, he has paid a flat fee of $1,000 to get this determination. For us to be able to have our day in court, the code says that we have to pay a minimum $2,500 for staff time, and it could go up to say maybe 40 hours, which would be 10,000. For us, that's a social and equity injustice because we feel like, you know, we should be able to have our day in court without having to overcome this huge financial barrier in a short period of time. And we would rather see that burden be placed on the developer who's at this time paying no impact fees either. So we're asking for your help to look into this matter.
I'm happy to. I don't know the issue, but we're happy to look at it. And there's a staff person right there who's waving his hand. If you could give him a little more details so that we know which tree we're talking about.